gamers.
How we doing, folks? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing some tier lists, and I'm looking at this camera angle and it's actually abysmal, I'm not gonna lie. I just got this new camera and I don't have a desk mount for it yet, so we're kind of working on an interesting setup. We're going to be looking at tier lists of the FNAF games. If you didn't know, I'm kind of a big fan. I used to watch like all Markiplier and I'll play that, and then I just kind of followed along. And the lore is pretty good to the games. It's pretty dark and gruesome, which is kind of the opposite you'd think of the games, but you know, we move. But yeah, here we are with the list. I don't know what that one is, so that's going in. They haven't played FNAF 4. That is instantly an S tier. That is just like one of the pinnacle games of the FNAF series. The sound design and the just the ambience in general is horrifying, man. I remember when I first like watched the video on it, I nearly shit myself because Jesus Christ. The Nightmare animatronics are also really well designed, and just the fact that you have to keep running between the doors and then looking behind you at the bed. It's amazing, it's amazing. FNAF World, I haven't actually played that. It's like a little RPG, which looks interesting, but I just never got into it. Ultimate Custom Night, it's a good game. Is it scary? No, it's not scary. It's more just a challenge game. Like, I remember when people were trying to do 50-20. Yeah, you'd get the 1 or 2 jumps every so often when you're not expecting it, but you're too focused on learning all the mechanics. You're like a spider going across your keyboard trying to figure out everything. So it's a good game, but I'd say we'll put it in B tier for the moment. Okay, FNAF 2. It was pretty scary at the time because the first game had the doors and this one, no doors. It was nice that you had infinite flashlight though. A lot of characters coming at you at once. Was it the scariest? Yeah, it was scary. It was quite scary. It wasn't as scary as the first one. There was the withered down animatronics. They were pretty scary. The toy ones were scary to an extent, but the plasticky look it's not as scary as as like the furry kind of animatronic. Where will I put this? I'd put it in A tier. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good game. I like it. FNAF 1, that is also an instant S tier. FNAF 4 and FNAF 1 are like the scariest ones. FNAF 1 is just done perfectly. While it's more simplistic than the others, it works. It works for it. It's also just the fact that the animatronics in it are probably some of the most frightening out of the whole series. Not that the jump scares are, because they're kind of flat. The jump scares have aged little, but everything else is fantastic. It's still kind of interesting that the doors go up when the power goes, but sure, that's just game logic, I guess. But the animatronics themselves were frightening. I remember looking at Bonnie especially. Bonnie frightened me a lot. And I think it's just because these animatronics actually looked like animatronics. They weren't plasticky or like toys or anything. They actually looked frightening. But yeah, I think it just deserves to be an S tier. Oh, Sister Location. Sister Location was a really good game. It really did change up the gameplay from the previous games, where like having you crawl around in vents and do different tasks, like fixing up Freddy, for example. And then the mission where you're in the spring lock suit and you have to keep tightening the screws. It was just like really interesting. And then even at the end of each night you got a little episode of a TV show, which was pretty cool. It was a big game for the lore though, yeah, where you play as Michael Afton. Oh, this is making me want to change a few things on the list though. We're moving everybody down one. Sister Location is now in A tier. FNAF 2 is B. UCN is C. Security Breach. Okay. Security Breach was a good game. Did it have a good launch? Debatably. It's still a buggy mess, and you can like go out of bounds and beat the game in like 7 minutes, just exploiting these glitches that they never bothered to fix. I did like that it's kind of like an open world thing, where you just get to run around anywhere you want in the pizzeria. Once again, it's not really scary. Like, yeah, you start off, you see the animatronics, oh, but then you just... they just aren't scary after a while. They're just a pest, if anything. There was some really cool parts to it though, like I like that you could crawl into Freddy's chest cavity. A lot of the areas in the game were pretty cool, like the Music Man bit. That was probably my favorite bit of the game though. It was a bit short. Then when it comes to the endings, I think it was a bit weird that they didn't do cutscenes for all of them. They just done like little comic strips, I guess. Yeah, because not all of them are the canon ending. The canon ending is the William Afton ending. So I guess I understand why that's the only one really with a cutscene. There was also the Vanny ending, I think, also had a cutscene. I still did like the game, but my biggest flaw with it was that every direction you were given in that game was very vague, and there was not really any labels on the map or anything, so half the time you're backtracking or trying to find your way to the next objective. But yeah, Security Breach was a pretty good game. It was fun, so I'm gonna put it on a B. FNAF 3, probably one of the more boring games in the series. It's got a lot of hidden lore, which was pretty cool. All those bits of like Easter eggs and mini games, they were pretty cool. But as for the gameplay, it wasn't scary. Like, Springtrap was just kind of there. He was just kind of an inconvenience, more or less. I like the whole resetting vents and all that kind of stuff. Some of the illusion animatronics, like the fake Chica and all that like appear on the cameras and all. Some of them were pretty scary. I'll put it on C tier with Ultimate Custom Night though. Pizzeria Simulator, that is a good game. You're situated in an event in that game. It's also kind of a tycoon game. It kind of lies you at the start and gives you a false sense of security. And then you get thrown into the shit show. It was a really cool game. It was really different from all the other games, especially since you start off with the pizzeria bit, and then you have to spend the night after every shift. The whole interview with animatronics also was pretty fucking frightening. I'll give it that. And the fact that this is like, in technicality, this is the end of the FNAF lore. If you haven't already, you should really look into like a lore video, like Matt Pats or somebody, you know, because everything Matt Pat says is fact, isn't it? But I would recommend looking into it, because this is like the end game where everything burns, everything ends. But it was really cool. It was really cool. Jump scares were a little flat, but then again, it was a free game. I'm gonna put, I was gonna say Ultimate Custom Night, Pizzeria Simulator in A tier. Help Wanted. Ooh. Okay, this is probably one of the most controversial games in the series. If you play it with a VR headset, it is probably the scariest. But if you play it without the headset, it's terrible. It's just so flat and plasticky if you don't play it without the headset. But for the sake of this, we'll say with the headset. The intention is that you play with a headset, so we're gonna count like that. This game is probably the scariest because you're actually there. You're actually there facing the fucking animatronics. There's tons of different modes, like you can replay the nights in the Five Nights at Freddy's games. You can fix the animatronics, and then there's like a Halloween mode as well. I think the whole glitch trap thing though was a bit weird, to be honest. Glitch trap was kind of cool, but it's just kind of like they just keep trying to bring back William Afton. Man's dead, leave him alone. Still though, it kind of is a reboot to the lore, like a second phase of the lore in the modern day after all the events of the prior games. I can understand that from a marketing perspective, but they just can't keep bringing William Afton back. There needs to be like a new antagonist probably at some point. We don't even know if that's like William Afton for sure. It's speculated that it is just a glitch and it's not like his spirit. Some of the level design in the game was a bit like a Gmod map nearly. But still, I'll put Help Wanted in the S tier list because it is still an amazing game if you play it with VR. If not, it goes in D terrible. This is the phone one. I can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna pop it up on screen. I never really played it. It looked interesting though, but I just never got into it. So I can't say I've played it, but I heard it's good. Don't take my word for this one particularly. But yeah, that's gonna be the finished list, I suppose. I think it's a fair list. I'm gonna be honest, I think it's a fair list. I think these are some pretty good takes. If you think you have a reason why I should have put one in a different tier, you can let me know down in the comments below. But also do drop this video a like. It really does help out the channel if you just drop a quick like. And subscribe if you want. I'm gonna be doing a lot more content now in 2022, especially now that we got a nice new HD camera. I've never seen such a good technology. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.